Hey guys, it is Ben, aka the Fuse Box, coming with our first midnight stream. I want to try to get this started on Saturday nights. Hell to the yes. And at the moment, I am joined by one of our favorite guests, King Leek.
Howdy.
What is going on, man?
Not much. Just got done with having fun with Red Valkyrie's little auction stream.
Nice. Did you buy anything? Did you sell anything?
I bought some stuff. I shouldn't have, but I bought some stuff.
Ain't that the way it goes?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And so, let's see. Before I delve into the topic at hand, I wanted to share real quick I'm already on it. Shit. I wanted to share. In fact, we are up to 121 signups for
Nice.
the pre-launch page. So I am very pleased with that. And yeah, we are in the final countdown. We have got a month until we are launching. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited. It's about damn time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Now, Leek, what do you remember about Hocus Pocus?
Let's see. I haven't watched it since I think when it originally came out.
Oh shit, that is a long time.
I have pretty good memory with movies, so I mean, from what I can remember, it was a fun movie.
I enjoyed it a good bit. I would have liked a sequel to it a long time ago.
Yeah.
And now they're catching up on the whole let's do sequels to every really good classic movie and possibly ruin it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that Bette Midler is basically mentally retarded, like spouts shit off. So I know she's turned a lot of people off. So I don't know if that fan base is coming back or not. I know Kathy Najimy, she's been staying out of that shit for the most part. But I don't know if Sarah Michelle or Sarah Jessica Parker would be enough to bring people back.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit last night. I was looking at a few reviews, and most of them seem to be kind of butt kissy type of reviews.
Yep.
And I can't say I really trust those. I want to think that it would be good, but I've been burned too many damn times. I can't trust it.
Yes. I mean, just considering who's the lead and of course the company that's making this.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, indeed. But what was it? Where am I clicking on? Shit. So yeah, so far on Rotten Tomatoes, we got that's not looking good.
Oh shit, okay.
Even the critics aren't liking it too much. Which, I mean, so I would say that like when critics give it a low score, that actually tends to work more in the favor of the movie.
Normally, yeah, but
that audience score.
It just came 20 years too late.
Yeah. And I mean, like, from all the trailers I've seen, they look about the same. I mean, her face has gotten a lot longer, but yeah, let's yeah, I think my main issue that I had with it, like, I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid. Like, I got into it. I enjoyed it. And like my biggest thing was like I've read from everything that the original kids that were the heroes of the story, they're not in it at all. Like
Right.
they're not even like parents of kids who would be starring in the story. Like they're just not in it. And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't They got a bunch of new kids and I don't like new kids nowadays.
Yeah. I don't, yeah. I'm not digging it.
Oh, this UK critic. Just like in the first film, they will find time to perform an impromptu musical number that makes no narrative sense, but allows Mittler to, do her thing. It sounds like he didn't really like the first one. So I don't know if I can trust that. Let's see. Inconsistent life lessons about sisterly bonding will drive the most saintly among us to satanic practices. When shall we three meet again? With all due respect to Mittler and company, how about never? Ooh. The UK, they're not liking it. Like many fan favorite follow-ups, Hocus Pocus 2 is stuck trapped somewhere in between different times, audiences, and tones, trying to do so much, yet in this instance achieving so very little.
Damn.
It's funny, like, I think, like, because there's no major fan outcry about this one, this movie kind of slipped in under the radar. People feel like they can be more honest about it.
Well, so there was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But once we got past that mark, it was, people just kind of gave up on it because, people were like, it's never going to be done again. But Disney trying to bank on nostalgia and shit, it just didn't work out.
I feel like that's what everybody's been doing over the past 10 years. It's let's make sequels to everything everybody liked and see if we can replicate the magic, but they never hire writers who really, I guess, examine the source material thoroughly. They always hire people who kind of look at all the vain aesthetics of it.
And then also look at what was quote unquote wrong about the originals.
And they just decide, hey, let's like take the things that everybody recognizes, like let's replicate lines from the movies and let's just throw those in there and people will just like it because it's exactly what they saw before.
And that's another thing I kind of liked about Prey. They didn't do any of that. I think the only recognizable line I heard is that if it bleeds it, you can kill it. That's it.
Yeah.
But like all the rest of the movie, it didn't try to bank too much on the nostalgia. And even then, it didn't even have the original soundtrack. It had its own score.
See, I like that. I definitely prefer that. It's like, as risky as it is, if you're gonna do a sequel to something, you have to try new things. The tricky part is not veering away from the spirit of the original, and that's kind of a tightrope to walk. But
yeah, and that's another thing that was great about this. It didn't stray from the spirit of the original. It actually felt like a movie that was in a Predator universe.
Yeah,
that's why I liked it. And it was the same thing with I know Predators doesn't get that much love, but I like that movie. It was fine the way it is. I wasn't a fan of some of the animatronics. Like, I think it was with starting with the Alien versus Predator films. Like, for some odd reason, the main jaw, the inner jaw, was
Yeah.
always hanging open
Okay.
throughout all the movies, even though the mandibles would be closed. But you see that the jaw was always hanging open. And then even then, with this, like the stretching flesh, the webbing between the mandibles, it was always loose with the later films. It didn't have that stretch effect. It would just wrinkle in or whatnot. But they did a good job with the animatronics. I mean, yeah, the Predator's 10 times uglier, but they actually do explain, hey, he's like from a different hemisphere of their planet, like completely different physical adaptations. Like from where he's at, it's a fucking desert.
See, I like it when, like, if they change something like certain aesthetics, like I like the fact that they provide a lore explanation to it. Like that's points in the plot positive section.
Right. And to include like that Predator with all the bone motifs that were on his armor and stuff like that, that's actually a reflection of the tribe that he's from. They do a lot of that, where they, instead of wearing so much of like the steel armor, they'll wear bone armor.
Nice.
And then they finally acknowledge that the skull on the helmet. So you remember the movie Predators, right? The third film with Adrian Brody.
I never watched it, but I watched like Mahler do a very in-depth review of like every moment of the movie, so it's almost like I watched it.
All right, so the creature that they thought was hunting them, turned out it was just another creature for the predators to hunt.
Okay, I don't remember that, but
let me bring up a picture of it. They call it the river ghost.
Lord. Well, I mean, that's a twist.
So, yeah, in the movie Predators, there's this creature that was running around in the woods, and they thought this was the creature that was after them, and then turned out it really wasn't, obviously. But,
well, shit.
Alright, open link a new tab. Okie dokie, let me go ahead and get this shared real quick.
Oh.
So they basically just revealed that the skull that's on the helmet of the predator and prey, that's the skull of this creature.
Oh, nice.
And this was supposed to be a homage to what the predator was originally supposed to look like in the original film, before Stan Winston got his hands on it. I don't know if you ever seen that design.
I hadn't actually, but I'm not a big Predator expert, I'm not.
Yeah, the Predator was going to look very different and was being played by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, Van Damme.
Let me go ahead and share
damn it
again.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, shit. Oh, Carl Weathers. Damn it, Apollo. Why did the Russian have to kill Apollo?
Because the Russians are racist.
I want to know. It's good to see you again, Dillard. Making hot takes.
All right, and then I got one more. So this is what it was supposed to look like this is the suit that the actor wore for whenever it was signifying that it was supposed to be, in the cloak scenes. So that way, because how they actually did that, the invisible effect or the cloaking effect,
Yeah.
is that was actually hand painted on the film. That's how they did that. That's how it made it look so good. Because obviously this was before, computer graphics and whatnot. So, yeah, all that was actually hand painted on the film itself.
Well, I mean, it couldn't have been better than Darmok and Girard at Tanagra. Is that supposed to be?
I guess that's the creature when it's invisible. But again, after they film the movie with all these scenes, that red suit actually helps the artist to be able to color over that to give the cloaking effect.
I would think it would have been a blue outfit or a green outfit.
They didn't use a blue screen or green screen for that because they were actually out in the jungle doing this shit.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense.
If I remember correctly, it was the jungles of Hawaii.
Nice. Hawaii. Oh, lordy. I gotta see a couple more of these reviews. Like, because everything I had seen, at least from like the people who were talking about it on Twitter, they had all said kind of the same thing, where it's that the three witches themselves are like the best part of the movie, and that everything else is what kind of drags it down. So apparently, like their chemistry together, it's like they didn't miss a day. It's like they just filmed the movie yesterday, which that's always great when you can replicate that, because it's rare to be able to, which is why it's such a huge risk to make a sequel so far after the original, because the odds of you catching the lightning in a bottle are even more reduced. Which is why people should stop doing this. And we've been saying it over and over again. And they won't listen. One of the worst films of 2022. The story is incredibly hokey, lacks any substance to capture the audience's attention, and the musical numbers are either forgetful or completely embarrassing. Recycled magic proves pretty tepid, even less engaging than its press set. Well, you didn't like the originals, Frank. What the fuck? Fans of the 1993 film will find plenty to like, which manages to channel the same energy. Let's see, I don't know, Rick. I don't know if I can agree with you. I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm not saying, like, that. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know how I feel when people say it does the same thing as the last one. It's always a 50-50 shot with that. And the problem is I'm not gonna sign up for Disney Plus. So I'm not gonna be able to watch it. If you like the first one, 3.5 out of 5. Oddball magic that the original managed to conjure has been displaced in Hocus Pocus 2 by too much shtick and schmaltz. And regardless of your predisposition to the material, the spell it seeks to cast is unlikely to linger for long. That makes a lot of sense, because I don't think any sequels made in the past 10 years really have stuck. except for maybe Top Gun 2.
Yeah.
That's the only one that people seem really jazzed about. All the others are either like considered just completely abhorrent or totally forgetful, and people tend to just drop it and never watch it again. I don't know if the streaming age has caused this problem.
Yes and no. So I guess with the major the major studios doing the streaming only releases during the pandemic, yeah, I mean that was understandable. But now we're past that point. People are going back to movie theaters, but they're not going back to movie theaters like they used to, because the movies that have been getting released are not of the same quality anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and especially I've been all the talk going on about what our favorite evil mega corporation's been doing. They're churning this stuff out like a factory.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're not putting any real heart into it. They're not taking creative risks for the most part. The last time they took creative risks, they made the absolute worst decisions. So instead of that, they're doing the opposite. They're doing like, what do the focus groups say? Focus groups say that people like this, this, and this. So we'll just throw that in there. Fuck it. Slap the thing together. Who cares? Nobody's gonna rewatch this. We're gonna be on to the next thing in a couple of months. So fuck it.
Yep.
And that's ultimately my issue with Marvel fatigue and shit, is that Marvel products now, they're so uninspired and so forgettable, and it's literally just there for the after credit scene. Be like, well, what's coming up? What is this setting up? It feels like it's gonna be nothing but setups with no real payoffs. It's depressing.
Yeah. Another issue is that they finally got like the licenses back to like almost every character. The only thing that's missing is the Hulk, because Universal is like, yeah, fuck you, Disney. And Sony's like, yeah, we're going to milk Spider-Man. We're going to milk that hard.
Yeah. Spider-Man's the only superhero movie that I've ever seen. Well, it's the only movie franchise I've ever seen where they literally restarted it 3 times within the range of like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And then it's basically restarted again now.
Again?
All right, so did you watch the latest one?
No. I heard it was good, though.
It was really good. All right, so basically, do you care about spoilers?
Nah.
All right, so basically towards the end, in order for Peter to be able to save everything, to get everything back to the way it was, he basically had Strange was like, hey, this thing I do, it's going to wipe everyone's memories. You are never going to exist according to these people.
Oh.
So MJ, even Aunt May, Happy, all of them won't know that he ever existed. So, and that's basically what it did. It wiped the slate clean for Spider-Man. Everyone in the Marvel Universe doesn't know who Spider-Man is anymore.
Fuck.
But it also gives him a chance, because now Now he's at the end of the movie. He dons the Spider-Man suit, but it is now the classic suit.
Okay.
So it's him going back to basics, no longer being, oh, this is actually Tony Stark's sidekick.
I wonder though if he's since he's not gonna have known this Ned guy, or Ned and MJ, Michelle Jones will not have known him. I wonder if he's actually gonna meet Harry Osborn and Mary Jane Watson.
Right?
I doubt that though.
Hell, he was actually supposed in Andrew Garfield's run. He was supposed to meet Mary Jane, but they ended up cutting it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Jane was played by that. What's her name? Cheyenne Woodley or whatever the hell.
I don't think I've heard of her, but
the chick from the Divergent films.
Okay.
Yeah,
I vaguely know her.
Yeah, her scenes were cut, but yeah, she was playing as MJ, and I was like, I really can't picture her as Mary Jane.
Yeah, that seems odd. Well, I mean, I didn't imagine what the hell's her name? I didn't imagine Zendaya as MJ, but
well, that's the thing. Zendaya's just that actress plays the same character in every movie she's in, it seems like. Because even in the new Dune movie, she it was like the same person. It was just like, okay, she doesn't have the range yet. You know, she's still very young, so she may be able to expand that. And it's the same thing with Zoe Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz is the exact same way. That's why I didn't like her as Catwoman in the Batman. She was the exact same character she was in every other movie.
Yeah, I don't like Zoe Kravitz just because she's kind of an asshole in real life.
But, oh, my daddy's a rock star.
I like Lenny Kravitz. I enjoyed his remake of American Woman.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the very few covers I like.
But yeah, I mean, it's time for the MCU to wrap it up.
Oh, also, so at the end of did you watch Let There Be Carnage, the second Venom film?
No. I gave up on superhero stuff right before the end of WandaVision.
So the after credits of Let There Be Venom, he got sucked into the MCU. But when everything was reset by Doctor Strange, he ended up getting sent back to his own universe. But also at the same time, a piece of his Venom symbiote got left behind. So maybe we're actually going to have a MCU Venom popping up soon, I guess.
Why? Like why introduce him only to immediately pull him out? That's what she said.
Know. I guess that may have been part of Sony's deal, because Sony wants to continue on with doing their own Venomverse.
Which, again, like, Venom without Spider-Man, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't, but I'm not going to lie. The first movie actually was kind of cool. It was a good movie.
No, I've heard good things about the Tom Hardy Venom stuff, but, I mean, I just never understood why they were so averse to, having him meet up with Spider-Man. They're supposed to be enemies. That's the major crux of Venom. He hates Peter Parker.
You also have to remember, originally, this is not like it's a good thing, but originally Venom was supposed to be an R-rated movie. But then Sony got cold feet at the last fucking second and took some shit out to make it PG-13. But Tom Hardy was like, yeah, it's going to be an R-rated movie and all that. It's going to be brutal and all that shit. Then Sony cucked out. Because I guess they wanted a chance. Oh, maybe we will bring Spider-Man into this, you know.
I mean, they need to. Like, that's... I mean, the whole thing... The big thing about Venom is that he's the symbiote combined with the black Spider-Man suit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get... I don't... I think the Wolverine Deadpool looks kind of interesting, but I'm sure they're going to find a way to annoy me about that.
Well, what? I will sit... I'm not going to go see that when it opens. I'm going to wait for actual, you know, fan reviews. Not media reviews, but fan reviews. Because I don't know if Disney's going to fuck with that movie too much.
Yeah. Well, Disney, they have to be in control of everything, even if they make the worst decisions. Like, I think the most infuriating thing that happened with this, that they announced with the Daredevil Reborn, or what is it called? Daredevil something? Daredevil
Rebirth or something or other.
Yeah, that crap. Like, the biggest annoyance I have is the fact that I think they said something to the effect of that the Daredevil Netflix shows is not going to be considered canon.
Yeah, it's apparently this new Daredevil show is going to be like more lighthearted and all that shit.
Like, the whole thing, like, that makes no sense to me. Like,
the reason why Daredevil took off the way it did is that, yes, it was kind of weird. It was kind of sort of tied with the MCU, but it wasn't at the same time.
I always thought it was. Like,
yeah.
I was under the impression that it was in the MCU. The only thing was just that they didn't cross over with the bigger heroes. Like, they were off doing other shit. And I figured that makes sense.
That allowed the legroom to have more R-rated stories.
Exactly.
Like with The Punisher, which okay. I watched a little bit of the Punisher series, and then they kind of strayed too much, so I quit watching it.
Yeah.
Like, really? Why is Microchip some skinny fuck?
Yeah, season 2 was... I wasn't big on season 2.
Why is Jigsaw still a pretty boy? That pissed me off. I'm like, what the fuck? But I like John Bernthal. Him as the Punisher, it was good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the only other person I think is a better Punisher is Ray Stevenson from Punisher Warzone.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
But John Bernthal, he did a great job. But it just seemed, there's certain little elements that felt off. And I was like, I want to say this is the Punisher, but I can't quite say it is. You know what I mean?
I know that feeling. I felt that way with a lot of shit going on in the MCU recently, especially. Like, do you know our boy who made the comic SPQR?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had him on the channel one time, and we were talking about the Thor movies, and he pitched an idea that would have been like his own like fan idea of what the second Thor movie should have been, and I was blown away by it. I was like, I really wish we had seen that, because he was talking about like Thor fighting the Midgar serpent and fucking having to repair the Rainbow Bridge, and he brought and a couple of characters from the comics being sent by Odin to try to stop him and stuff. Like, it was a really exciting and awesome thing that would have incorporated more Norse mythology and more of the actual Marvel characters.
I'm still fucking pissed we never got Beta Ray Bill.
I get the feeling we might.
Yeah, but what's the point now?
It's going to be a horrible version of him, but it's going to be him, kind of.
It's going to be a horrible version, and Thor has fucking Stormbringer. He doesn't have Mjolnir anymore. He has Stormbringer.
Yep.
And the whole point of Beta Ray Bill was like, Odin saw Beta Ray Bill, was like, holy shit, you're a fucking badass. You're worthy to pick that up. All right, cool. So kill my son, and you can keep Mjolnir. And Beta Ray Bill was like, I can't do that, man. And then Odin was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to have another hammer made just for you. That was the whole thing. That's why I got pissed off with Infinity War. They're like, oh, we need to make a new hammer and whatnot. I was like, wait a minute. I thought the whole point of Ragnarok was to show that the power came from within Thor, not from the hammer, and that basically he was the new Odin. I mean, that was the whole signifying feature of why he lost his eye. He was the new Odin. And then they completely fucking shit all over that.
Yes.
And
that was the most aggravating part for me during Phase 3, was just the fact that they would set up really awesome changes, and then in the next movie they would just completely go back on it. And that was one of the major ones, was, okay, we've set up Thor's character arc has come completely to its head. He is now set up to be the new king of Asgard. And then it's, nope. No, he doesn't want to be king.
I mean, I can get that. That little character arc where he comes to realize he's like, well, maybe being a king isn't my deal. Maybe being a hero is what I want to be. That's completely understandable. And him saying, you know what, I feel that you are more worthy to do this than I am. You know, you have more heart in being a ruler. Just let me go out and help people and all that kind of shit. I can understand that. I do like that little bit of an arc, but how they handled it was fucking bad.
I would agree with that. I just would have liked to see him become king of Asgard, and that's just, and that should have been the end, part of the end of Endgame for Thor's story would be he takes his place as the king.
Yeah.
And I absolutely hated the fat Thor bit.
Yeah,
I absolutely hated it.
That was fucking stupid. I was like, fucking really? Really? No, I did like that Steve was worthy. Yeah, I knew he was worthy. But you could tell what was that in the Age of Ultron when they were doing that whole thing, trying to pick up my hammer. And he shifted it, but Steve, being who he is, doesn't want to be a dick, so he's like, oh, that's too much. I can't do that.
No, I loved that. I loved that. That was the only scene in Endgame that I really enjoyed. Like, was Captain America getting the hammer. That was it. The rest of it I could have done without. Well, though I did like Ant-Man's humor in it.
Mm-hmm.
But that was about it. And And I just, an Endgame was the movie you had to watch because it was just the final conclusion to everything.
And
But
another thing that I didn't like was the whole Professor Hulk thing. That was
oh, I
stupid.
hated that.
Why they had the scene filmed. Why the fuck didn't they stick with it? So originally, what was supposed to happen was that yes, Bruce was in the fucking Hulkbuster armor. You know, the Hulk didn't want to come out.
And it was kind of a weird. It was almost like an analogy for having erectile dysfunction.
No. I mean, that's what that's what it ended up turning into. But he was actually supposed to be having arguments with the Hulk while he was in the suit.
Yeah.
Like back and forth. He's like, hey, and they were supposed to come to a conclusion where the Hulk, something like the Hulk's like, I don't want to hurt people anymore. I get pissed off. And they actually come to a conclusion and work together. They're not Professor Hulk. They're the Hulk, but the Hulk is controlled. I guess you would call it Zen Hulk.
Yeah, it's that he's finally kind of he's brought peace to the two halves of himself. Like they've come to terms with each other.
Right, and then they work together, bust out of the Hulkbuster armor, and fucking go at it. And that was one of the things they had in the trailer where it showed, if I can remember correctly, it showed the Hulk in the armor.
I think my biggest issue with the MCU that I've mentioned a million times before is that it was around the time I think Guardians came out that they just decided that they needed to have this mandate of like, things have to be really funny. Like it can't be serious for too long. Like things just have to be really funny. Like I know that like, MCU always had a kind of a balance of humor, but it still got really serious when it needed to get serious.
But it was like that with Guardians of the Galaxy. That was the thing. When shit got serious.
But it was like I guess what I'm saying is like, no, like I totally like Guardians. Like it worked well, and I like the idea of having a genre. Like you can have different genres in the MCU. You can have comedy, you can have action drama, you can have whatever. Like, but the fact that they felt the need after that to be like, well, no, like every movie now has to have all these factors in it. It's like, no. Like, let each character kind of have their own tone in their own story.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk should be tragic. Thor can have some levity, but I mean, I like Thor as epic action and fantasy.
And that's why I really liked the first film, and I'm one of the few that actually liked
I liked the first one.
I'm one of the few that actually liked Dark World. I didn't think it was that fucking bad.
I didn't hate it. It was a little.
It was still Thor. It still felt like serious situations with its small moments of levity.
Yeah. I would have preferred a different story though for Dark World. Something that maybe incorporated something else from Norse mythology, like what Elysian Fields was talking about. Maybe including the world serpent. That would have been fucking badass.
Yeah, that would have been badass.
But what was it? Yeah, but like, and I feel like who else was I annoyed about? Yeah, well, I was basically saying, like you can have one character can be more tragic, one character can be more dramatic, serious. Like, with Captain America, you got the political intrigue.
That's why Winter Soldier was so damn good.
Yes. Winter Soldier is probably my favorite MCU movie. I loved it. It was a masterpiece. I I liked Civil War for the most part, but there were moments where they were starting to do the thing where it's like, okay, we're like having a lot of humor in this moment. And it's like, well, wait, like this, you've got the team split in half and they're all fighting each other. Like that shouldn't be something silly. Like that's supposed to be a major dramatic beat. Like friends have just become enemies. It's literally the Civil War.
No, the parts with Spider-Man during that battle were actually pretty good.
I'll give you that.
That it fits Spider-Man. I mean, he, making his quips and shit, that fits him.
No, that makes sense to me. The shit that I didn't like was Hawkeye constantly having to have like a silly moment in that fight. It's
Man,
like
Hawkeye
stop.
was cucked so fucking hard throughout the entirety of the MCU. Even in his own fucking show, he got cucked.
Yeah. And
I mean, when he became in Endgame, when he was Ronin, I liked that because it was like, all right, we finally get to see him act like a fucking badass like he's supposed to.
And it lasted like 5 seconds.
Yep.
Oh God, I think. Well, of course, the biggest letdown was the Black Widow movie.
I never watched it.
I again watched very comprehensive reviews. Mahler and EFAP. I mean, they go through every single little beat.
Right.
So it's like you watched the movie, but basically, yeah, like they had the opportunity to tell Natasha's story, and Natasha, I always got the vibe from things, especially like the scene in Age of Ultron. I was expecting something dark. Like I was expecting like, her as the assassin, like doing pretty fucked up shit. And then eventually having a crisis of conscience, and they didn't really do that. They were just setting up the new Black Widow and making more jokes and adding in whatever the fuck his name was, Captain Russia, I don't know. The Soviet guy.
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, and they made him a fat joke, and just a bunch of jokes, and the bad guy, the big notorious evil Dreykov, his whole motivation is that he hates women.
Okay. Oh, especially what they did with Taskmaster.
Yeah. They turned Taskmaster into Dreykov's daughter.
And
to be kind of a cheap story point.
And basically just to be a drone.
Yep.
Which really pissed me off because Taskmaster is actually a really good fucking character.
Yeah.
He's a villain who has a fucking personality. But, they completely fucking missed the point of that character. Why he's called Taskmaster. He's like, oh, I'm the master of everything. If I see your performance once, I'm going to already know what to fucking do.
Yep. God, this is depressing.
Yeah. You know what I'd love to see, which would actually I think would be kind of funny, is if they brought in Hauptmann Deutschland, which he's Captain Germany.
Oh God.
But he beats the shit out of fucking Red Skull. This actual storyline where he's fucking screaming at Red Skull. He's like, I am Hauptmann Deutschland. I am the true pride of Germany.
Jesus. Yeah, like there's something about movies of comic book heroes. They always, whenever it comes to like the best bad guys from the comics, they usually get it wrong in a horrible way. Like there's exceptions, obviously, but
Red Skull being one of them. They did a pretty damn good job with him in the first Captain America movie.
Oh yeah, and I like what they did with Thanos, even though it would have been cool to add the stuff about Lady Death and all that. But
Oh yeah.
um, I think I mean, the first time I was ever really annoyed with a villain portrayal was before the MCU, and you probably know where I'm going with this. It was in Spider-Man 3. It was Topher Grace as Venom.
I
And the
feel
fact
so bad about Sam Raimi. He didn't even want to put Venom in that movie.
I would have
Because
preferred it if they didn't.
he didn't want to put Venom in that movie. He wanted to save Venom for Spider-Man 4 because he actually didn't know enough about the character, which he admitted to the studio. He's like, listen, I don't know shit about this guy. This is after I stopped reading comics. I need to read up on this guy and figure him out. And they're like, but Avi Arad, being the fucking douchebag that he is, it's like, no, but people are begging for Venom, so you need to put him in there. It's like, well, then you should have left the whole thing with Harry as the final Spider-Man 4 film. Should have left that out completely, at least.
Yeah.
And saved that for later. And
Too many bad guys.
Instead of being New Goblin, he should have been the Hobgoblin.
I initially thought that's what he was.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was too.
And yeah, and I mean, it would be nice if they actually gave MCU Spider-Man like some more iconic villains. Vulture was okay, but I mean,
Vulture was okay, and what I liked Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio.
I kind of did.
But the motivation behind it was stupid.
I would have preferred him to have the magic, but
yeah,
I appreciated the weird subversion, because like when they first mentioned the multiverse, I was rolling my eyes because I was like, you know, I never have liked multiverse shit in comics. I never have. I feel like it takes away from the uniqueness of the characters.
Like there's certain aspects I like of like multiverse stuff. It's like whenever DC did their Elseworlds comics, and they were standalone comics. They weren't, oh, we're going to cross this over with the mainline universe. It's like, no. It stayed in its own fucking lane.
I can handle that.
Like
that's fine.
Especially one of my favorite is Red Sun, Superman Red Sun, where where instead of in the we're not talking about the animated movie. We're talking about the actual comic.
Yeah.
So, you know the story of Superman Red Sun?
When he's born into Russia?
Yeah, he landed in Soviet Russia, but instead of being raised by a family, he's raised by fucking Stalin and the government. There was one beat I did like about the movie. So I guess what would be Soviet Russia's version of Lana Lang. You know, in the movie, they actually went a little bit more in depth with it, where he was raised by a small family, but Lana discovered that he had these powers, and she, you know, being little kids, you think, you know, everything's great about the government, your government is great, and all that kind of crap. At least for that time, with the way the brainwashing and shit was in Soviet Russia. It's like, she was like, oh, your powers would be great for the state and all that kind of stuff. And in the movie, he ended up volunteering to join the Soviet government and was raised by Stalin and whatnot. But when he finds out that that Soviet Russia actually has these gulags and shit, and he finds Lana in one of them because she ended up becoming a dissenter later in life, and the conditions were so bad, she had disease, she wasn't treated, she's starved, and he finally found her, and she dies in his arms. He fucking shows up to Stalin's fucking office, and he's like, "Hey, so why do these people have to die?" And Stalin, being cold as he is, pretty much says, "Well, if they're in the way, we need peace. People have to die." And Superman's like, "Okay, yeah, I agree," and fucking vaporizes his ass. But the story was the original comic was actually really good, because in that, Superman was Superman, but he was working for the Soviet government. He was trying to be the good person that he wanted to be. He had the U.S., where the U.S., they created their own Superman, and that turned into a fucked up genetic freak.
Oh, God.
And Superman had no choice but to kill him. And then Hal Jordan, after Stalin is killed, Superman becomes President Superman of Soviet Russia. But now, because he wants ultimate peace, he also has these re-education camps and all that kind of stuff now. But he's also smitten with Lois Lane, who's an American reporter. Batman, that universe's Batman is a freedom fighter who goes to the extreme with implanting a bomb within himself. Hal Jordan.
Wow.
So by the time Superman becomes president, we're now in the Vietnam War era. Lex Luthor's now president of the United States. He's married to Lois Lane. So they end up discovering the ship that Abin Sur comes in and dies. The Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And they end up duplicating the technology. They get Hal Jordan, who was a POW during Vietnam. Now they have the Green Lantern Marine Corps. And
Damn.
It ends up becoming a really good story, where in the past, Superman in that universe, Superman defeated Brainiac and then basically hijacked the AI and started using it for his own programming. And it turned out the Brainiac AI was pretending to be subservient to Superman and was doing shit behind the scenes until he was able to become powerful again. So, and then Superman finally come to terms. He's like, "Holy shit, I've just followed Stalin's footsteps." Realizing that he's become such a bad person. So he ends up sacrificing himself to finally destroy Brainiac and save the planet before the planet is fucking doomed. So, saving the U.S., everybody, and all that kind of shit. And it was actually a really good story. There's another one that's really good. It's called Superman Speeding Bullets. And it was a story where instead of Kal-El landing in Metropolis, he landed in Gotham.
Oh, shit.
And he was raised by Thomas and Martha Wayne, and he was named Bruce. And he was Bruce Wayne.
Wow.
And when his parents are murdered, a solo kid, instead of Joe Chill running away, he accidentally unleashes his own powers and fucking vaporizes them.
Oh, God.
And he ends up becoming Batman. But he's a very fucking brutal Batman.
I've noticed writers really love to take the innocence out of Superman. They really love to play with him becoming a death machine. I'm one of those weirdos that likes Superman being the all-American good guy.
I love that too. Don't get me wrong. I fucking absolutely love that. But I also like seeing certain aspects at the same time. I'm like, okay, well, what happens in this situation? What happens
I did enjoy Injustice. I thought that was a good storyline.
That was a good storyline.
I don't like it being the norm,
Yeah.
I like, because I feel like I know people, the big complaint is that they feel like because Superman is so good and because he has all this power that it's like the storylines can get kind of dull or kind of boring. But it's like the best way is to keep Superman kind of in reserve. Like, focus your stories more around folks like Batman, and then like have Superman kind of make a cameo here and there.
Oh, no way.
Like,
Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, like, did you ever you read the Batman Hush book?
I saw the movie. I never got a chance to read the book though.
I read that's one of the few major graphic novels that I've read, and I loved it. And in it, Superman has a cameo in it, but he's not in it for long. But the idea is Poison Ivy uses her fucking spores to hypnotize Superman. So Batman has to whip out the kryptonite ring to fight him. And it was just really well done, like all of that. And like they were going into Bruce's thoughts about how he kind of likes Superman, but he kind of doesn't. You know, like it's like he's kind of in between. What's going on, Fizz?
Yeah, that's from that Elseworld story.
Okay.
But yeah, I just looked it up while I was searching for that. I just found out that McFarlane Toys is actually going to be releasing that action figure.
Oh wow.
So yeah, now I guess I'm going to get that. And it looks fucking good too.
I mean, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to come to the conclusion. You know, Batman is my favorite DC hero. Like, he's the most interesting and the most fun. Yeah, I love Hush. I loved that book. It was the time where they actually got Batman and Catwoman together, but it doesn't work out because Batman's paranoia of like his enemies getting the one up on him gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it made total sense. And you know, I always liked the idea of like Batman not really settling down, but it's like you play that tug of war between, you know, like, well, they like each other, but there's too many things in the way, but maybe they can try it. But no. Maybe.
Dude, check this out. Yeah.
Oh fuck.
I fucking want it. I'm getting it.
That's an interesting design.
But yeah, eventually in the story, he ends up becoming Superman. You know, he gives up the cowl. He becomes the hero that he's supposed to be. There? I know that there's like an Elseworlds thing where it was, you know, basically Kal-El landed in medieval Europe or something like that. I never got a chance to read it. I kind of want to. I liked the. Well, I think they were called the Red. It was like they basically called the Red Mist series or whatnot, where it's an alternate universe where Batman becomes a vampire.
Oh my god. They've done everything.
There's one they did a Elseworlds of World's Finest with Superwoman and Batwoman.
I didn't even know there was a Superwoman. Shit. I know there's Supergirl, but I don't know Superwoman. See, I would have to disagree with you on that one. I liked Hush as a villain. I love the idea of like an old childhood friend of Bruce coming back to kind of get him, and how he was secretly fucking psychotic. Because there's mental illness is huge in Gotham. Okay. The Blue Man. So,
Batgirl's
Supergirl.
Supergirl.
Okay, that makes sense.
But if I remember correct, I think it's been a long time since I actually read that story. I think Superman and Batman were never existent in that universe.
That's peculiar, but I like Kara's story, and I like Batgirl's story, although I'm really tired of every DC adaptation to film feeling the need to constantly replicate the Killing Joke. It's like the Killing Joke was a great story. We don't need it retold 50 times. Like,
That's from that same story of like all the Justice League members of that universe.
I like Flash's outfit in there.
Mm-hmm. And by looks, I think that Green Lantern, that is Avin Sur. He just never fucking died in a crash.
Yeah, that's always the thing about multiverse. It's always, what if the person who did this did this instead? But yeah, and now that the MCU has the multiverse, they're going to be able to do whatever they want.
Yep.
I've been like, I am under the belief that when they get desperate, when they're hemorrhaging too many viewers, they're gonna try to get Robert Downey Jr. or somebody else to come in as Tony Stark from another universe.
They're already trying. Supposedly, they're already in talks with Chris Evans to come back as Captain America.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I would like that, but
yeah, but
from
also from what I understand, I guess it's just so that they can fucking point out, talk about how problematic he is or some shit like that.
I wouldn't be shocked. Like, yeah. Because I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier, from what I heard about the show, it was, Steve giving the shield to Sam was Steve being ignorant and not knowing how hard it would be for a black man to be Captain America. Because, he's an insensitive white man.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no.
That's definitely a way to tank the movies.
Watch them do some shit where they retcon it to where, turns out this whole time
he was a Hydra agent.
Yes, even through the Captain America, the First Avenger, and all that, he was secretly a Nazi the whole time, and you just didn't know it. Because, we already got She-Hulk appealing to the wine moms. Well, not wine moms, more like middle-aged women who drink boxed wine who are childless. Good stuff. Should have ended after Endgame. Should have just ended. It's like, when I was younger, I was the kind of guy who, I loved the idea of oh, I love these characters. Let's get them in more and more movies. I don't care how many. Let's keep going. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, it's better to just go out on a high note. Go out while you're on top. Don't fuck around. It's gonna come crashing down eventually.
Yep.
And I mean, it's already on its way down. There's a lot of fans that still, for some reason, are into the new shit for Marvel, and I'm like, well, God bless them, but I don't think they really paid attention. Oh. And I think the DCEU they need to just call it quits on that.
Yeah, I've heard that Black Adam isn't actually a very good movie.
I'm
Which
so
makes
shocked.
me sad. Shazam was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Shazam. I know folks who have liked the first Wonder Woman. But I know Gal Gadot can't act to save her life. Like, it was clear she was chosen because of the way she looks. Like,
They still should have got Gina Carano.
Well, that's awfully problematic, King Leak.
Well, that was before the quote unquote problematic issues with Gina Carano.
Somebody who doesn't put pronouns in their bio on Twitter, that is not somebody we want representing us. How dare they? Or she. I don't know her pronouns, so I can't call her by the right one. I just said her. Hashtag cancel Fusebox. You remember when they used to make movies that were like news stories?
Yeah.
It's so long ago, but there was a time when they made news stories.
Yeah.
I see what you mean, but I would still be down for it. I mean, she's got she's got a big upper body kind of, but in a way, I think that kind of works for a superhero, at least. She could have played She-Hulk. They could have done the thing where paint her green and maybe kind of do some camera effects to make her a little bit taller.
Yeah, do what they did for Lord of the Rings, original Lord of the Rings. Use the whole depth of field effect.
Exactly. What is up, Fanta?
Fanta!
I want a Fanta. Well, I recently heard Fanta was made by, was it Germany or Russia?
It was originally a company from Nazi Germany.
That was it.
People tend to forget that. It's the same thing with Volkswagen.
See, my lack of nerd credentials is showing. I don't know Wolfsbane. Was that DC or Marvel or?
No, that was Marvel's. Wolfsbane, she was part of the New Mutants, where she was like a werewolf.
Makes sense.
But no, they can't do that. Remember, they had to turn, even though she was very, very religious Catholic, they made her into a lesbian in the New Mutants movie.
Good on them, because we can't have those Catholics being represented. Well, that's a shock. I like Fanta. I mean, it's your name. It's, Yeah, New
oh yeah,
Mutants came out under the radar, didn't it?
yeah, it did. It kept on getting pushed back. Originally, it was supposed to be a horror movie, and then got pushed back again, and then there was the Disney takeover of Fox, and I guess Disney didn't want it to interfere with the rest of their fucking movies. So it ended up, I think it went straight to DVD or straight to streaming, something like that.
Oh, Disney. I'm not familiar with the New Mutants very much.
Oh, Hitmonkey had his own show on Disney Plus.
Oh, oh. It must have been just pure gold.
Yeah, I think it was animated.
Okay, that's a little different because animated movies tend to be a little bit better with this stuff.
Oh, motherfucker, that was another thing. We were supposed to get a new Howard the Duck movie.
That's right.
Those motherfuckers, they teased
teased
Howard the Duck, and they fucking did nothing with it like they fucking did with everything else.
George Lucas probably told him no. I like Dr. Pepper. I'm weirdly a Diet Coke person. I'm a diabetic, so Diet Coke is like crack cocaine for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Morbius. Yeah. I thought Morbius was a weird decision for the MCU, but...
Oh, that's not MCU, that's Sony.
Sony. Well, I mean, I thought, weren't they going to try to fit him in somehow?
He's supposed to be part of the whole Venomverse thing, which apparently because of the whole multiverse thing, Vulture's in Morbius.
Yeah. I remember, yeah, because I heard about that, so I was like, oh, like, how are they gonna work that in? But yeah, Disney and Sony are playing this weird back and forth. Uh-oh. There's a new Howard the Duck cartoon on Hulu. Yeah. George Lucas made a lot of mistakes in his life, but the worst one was when he sold Star Wars.
But you can also blame the fucking the uber asshole fans for that one. He got tired of getting bitched at.
No, I know. Like, it was one of those things where, it was like, oh, you think the prequels are bad? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because, like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat, like, the prequels. There's a lot of folks I see who talk about how great the prequels were. Like, I enjoyed them a lot when I was a kid. And as I got older, I noticed, like, Attack of the Clones was a terrible movie. But I would still take it over The Last Jedi.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, the reason the prequels didn't do so well is because George Lucas didn't have his first wife to do the editing for him.
Yes.
And, to rein him in like she did with the original trilogy.
Yeah, and I know Empire was like most people's favorites, and that was the one where George really didn't have a hell of a lot of input on it. Like, I think Lawrence Kasdan did a lot with the script in that one. And it was, I think, and like that was the thing. They stumbled into a really good formula. They had George's kind of optimism for the first one and the third one, and you had more of Lawrence Kasdan's kind of drama building and, I guess, darker storytelling for the second one to make it a nice, make it a good journey.
Mm-hmm.
You got a really good high points, really good low points. Oh, Hit Monkey was on Hulu. What is up, Fade?
Fade! What's up? Friggin', speaking of George Lucas, Willow. I wanna like it. I hope it is good. But there's that cynic in me that's like, it's going to be dog shit. It's going to be absolute fucking dog shit.
You remember the way this stream started? I was talking about, I really liked Hocus Pocus, and thought the idea of a sequel was a pretty decent idea, but considering the time period we're living in.
Yep. And on top, I mean, I know Val Kilmer has some involvement with the new Willow series. It's just how much, and the throat cancer he did have friggin' took a toll on his body.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're going to see Mad Mardigan going out there like a badass he was.
Well, I need to learn more about Hit Monkey. I would watch Hit Monkey if his name was Son Goku. That's right. I went there. Because the name Son Goku means Monkey King. I'm a Dragon Ball expert. I love everything Dragon Ball except for most of GT. Yeah, no, I like at the beginning of the stream, we were looking at the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and because there wasn't a major online war about this sequel, somehow the critics feel like they can be honest. So neither the major critics or the audiences like it very much. You got like a 61% critical rating, and you got like 56% audience rating. It's not good. They waited too damn long, and I would have been more willing to check it out if they had brought back the kids from the original as adults. I would have liked to see them, but no, we have to have these new kids, and these new kids are, very 2022. And I don't like kids in 2022. I don't know what Hit Monkey is either. I just know that his name should be Son Goku. Yep. Oh yeah. Sun Wukong. I am Son Goku, the pure-hearted warrior awakened by fury.
The only thing I'll say about GT is that GT had some really good fucking ideas, executed very fucking poorly.
It had some good ideas. I did not like Goku being wished into a kid.
That was one of them. That was a stupid idea.
I love Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah, the whole idea of Super Saiyan 4 just being like basically what true Super Saiyan should be. Like, it's getting back to the bestial roots of the Saiyans. That's what I like about that. And that's what I liked about the whole Golden Grade 8 thing. It was the Grade 8 as a Super Saiyan. So completely raw, all that raw power, no control. And it harkened back to the original lore of the original legendary Super Saiyan to where he was, or the Super Saiyan of legend, where
Yep.
he wasn't able to control his power and he ultimately destroyed himself.
Oh God, yeah. And I just love how it was like the moment where it's like Goku and the Ozaru, similar to what we were talking about with the Hulk, the two sides of the person finally create synergy, finally
But
come together.
but it made me laugh because with Vegeta, him becoming Super Saiyan 4, obviously they cheated. But him becoming Super Saiyan 4, it's like, wait a minute, but he already has control over his ape form, so this shouldn't be an issue.
I actually really enjoyed that part. Like I thought like, okay, you're calling back to the main lore. I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love that stuff. I even liked the concept of baby.
Yeah, that's a really good concept.
Because
And
like the Tuffles were something that had just been forgotten in the memory hole.
mhm. And that was, like I said, that was another great thing with GT. You know, the people did the writers did their research on the lore. They just did it badly.
Yeah. Like I really didn't like the ending of GT.
Oh no.
I didn't like Goku merging with the Dragon Balls and Piccolo getting stuck in hell.
Well, I don't know. I kind of like that idea because Piccolo's like, all right, now I get to kick people's asses for eternity now.
But it was like it was not a fair fate for him.
True.
That's where Frieza belongs. That's the one thing. Well, like there's a few things in Super I'm not crazy about, but I like where the story has gone comparatively.
Yeah.
But number one, I don't like Super Saiyan Blue.
I did.
Uh,
I did not like Super Saiyan God. I mean, I liked the idea of it,
yeah,
but I didn't like the aesthetic. I didn't like the aesthetic. I was like, okay, now he's super skinny. Why is he super skinny?
that was the one part I was okay with. Was like the giving him more of a David physique. The part I was kind of like really was just the color scheme.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, so it's the same thing as like Super Saiyan, but we're swapping hairstyles. And I
Now,
was just like,
I like the idea of Ultra Instinct, mainly because it's not just a Saiyan transformation.
yes.
And so it would be the same thing with Ultra Ego, which is
Yep.
Vegeta's version of it. But I really like that idea.
I love Ultra Instinct. It's the main reason I rewatch Super.
That entire universe, that entire arc was the best thing in all of Super.
Oh God, yeah.
That was the best storyline. We had a lot of really good characters come in. I mean, don't get me wrong. What's her name? Caulifla. She was fucking annoying as hell.
Yeah, but I liked like similar to what you were saying. Like I liked the idea of having female Saiyans from Universe 6, but I don't like the execution.
What it, I did. I mean, I kind of do like the parallels where.
Yeah.
Basically, think of Caulifla. She is the Goku of that universe. She's constantly wanting to fight. She always wants to get better just for the sake of the fight. But she has Vegeta's attitude. And then you look at what's his name?
Kale.
Yeah, Kale? No.
Oh, you're talking about
the
what's
male.
his face? Kaba.
He's Vegeta, but he's more of a not timid, but more of a cautious. The only reason why I want this power is to be able to help people.
And I really wanted them, like I wanted the Saiyans of Universe 6 to have more muscles.
Well,
Like
that's just
especially
Toyotaro's.
Kaba.
That's just Toyotaro's design. I never liked his fucking designs. Never. Every time, I mean,
Yeah.
you look at original Dragon Ball Z. Uh, Even in relaxed states, the characters are never fucking. There's they're still built.
Yeah.
But then uh, you look at Toyotaro's work, and when they're in relaxed states, going about their everyday life, they look like fucking string beans.
Yeah.
Especially, and you could definitely see that with Krillin when he put on the gi, but he wasn't fighting.
Yep. I noticed that.
Hate that. It's like and I don't like most of Toyotaro's aesthetics either, like with the designs of androids or the designs of the gods' clothing and stuff like that. Except for Beerus, it makes sense. His has more of an Egyptian look. He's a cat. And it looks fine to me. But
yeah.
But
yeah, Whis looks weird.
I don't like Whis' looks, but I just love Whis as a character. He's a great character.
Exactly.
Like
I did like Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Fade. Oh no, Fade.
Fade, get back in the fucking box.
Fade. To me, it's like I'm the opposite way, where I'm like, I wish we had skipped over Super Saiyan God and just gone to Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, there's Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. It's like, what the fuck? Okay. Yeah. All right. Sure. We'll go with that. Okay.
And I thought for sure they were gonna go the full length of that. They were gonna go Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 2.
And then
Super
3.
Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 3.
But, I mean, I get it why they called it that, because it is a Super Saiyan state of Super Saiyan God. But the name, it was just like, he didn't think that through. But they did admit, just for short, we'll just call it Super Saiyan Blue. It's like, okay. And then the whole Super Saiyan Rose thing, I was like, really?
I thought it was a dumb form, but the idea behind it, that like a Kai in a Saiyan's body produced a different transformation, I thought that was kind of interesting.
And again, it comes down to good ideas executed poorly.
Yep.
Don't shoot! He's not black. Funimation knew what the fuck they were doing with that one. As much as I hate those bastards, I'll give them that one.
I can see your reasoning for that. To me, I felt like Ultra Instinct was kind of like, the manga explains it better, how it felt like it was a culmination of all of Goku's training, particularly under divine trainers like Kami and King Kai,
Beerus.
Yeah, like it just felt like that's kind of where he was heading all along. Yeah, because we all knew that Goku had heightened instincts when it came to fighting. It's his main forte, because he's not the brightest bulb on the tree with most things, but he's a genius when it comes to combat. And it just felt like that was a great place to go, and giving him the silver hair and all, it just felt really badass.
And even then, before he had the silver hair, when he was like halfway into the state, that was still a pretty cool looking transformation.
Yeah, I would agree. And I like Ultra Ego as just like being as Goku, Vegeta gets the total inverse of like, okay, instead of being just instinctually moving, he's all about like it's his pride. It's his sense of self that pushes him forward.
one thing I did like about another thing I really liked about that Universal that final arc in the anime was when Vegeta ended up revealing his more powered up state of Super Saiyan Blue.
Yeah.
And that just brought me back to the Cell saga with Super Vegeta. And I was like, fuck
Yeah.
yes, let's fucking go. And then some company, and it's a company called Demoniacal Fit. They do third-party figures, but they do a really good fucking job. You know, they're not officially licensed.
Okay.
So they did one of that Vegeta, you know, where he his shirt's all torn up and shit. Like he no longer has the shirt, but he has that deep blue hair. He has the larger build. They do have two separate arms for him. One is without the gloves, and the other one is with the gloves. I suggest the one with the gloves because the joint for the wrist looks fucking weird without gloves. But I actually ended up getting, because I have like a bunch of the SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball figures.
Yeah.
So originally that company started out just making alternate heads to go on those figures. So before the mainline companies like Bandai and whatnot came out with Ultra Instinct or Super Saiyan Blue heads, Super Saiyan Blue based figures. This company took the molds of the original Dragon Ball Z figures of that company and then made their own. But to me, I felt like they did a better job with the painting and whatnot. So I got that version of Vegeta, you know, I'll just call it Super Vegeta Blue.
Yeah.
Just for that
I think
sake.
I think they officially called it Limit Breaker Vegeta.
Something like that, or there's some other name to it, I can't remember. But they actually made that head, and I got that, and it's on my Super Saiyan Vegeta figure.
Nice.
And the sculpting is great. The paint is slightly off with the skin tone, because the skin tone is slightly different from the action figure itself, but it's hardly noticeable.
I mean, Vegeta went through a couple of design transformations during Z. He somehow grew in height.
Yeah.
And he got extra tan.
But now Demoniacal Fit is making full-on figures now.
I'll tell you, I really do miss that animation style from the Boo Saga. I wish they would get whoever did the Boo Saga to do the new stuff. I'm getting, I don't like the modern, like, it's like you were talking about, like with, like, the characters look kind of skinny and the overall animation's simpler. Yeah. And the fact that, like, new characters, I've noticed, like, there's a lot of the new aliens all have the same face. And it's like this simplistic, it's like two tiny dot eyes and like a goofy smile.
Those bastards, they made a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta figure.
Well,
those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was.
Sorry.
He did. No, he definitely got taller. Yeah, Vegeta used to be a shrimp, and then like there was that. I think when they first showed Vegeta in the anime, I think they came up with the. They came up with the excuse of like, well, it was the lighting on that planet, but he originally had kind of reddish hair.
Oh yeah, so do you know the whole story behind that?
Not the whole story, just kind of bits.
All right, so the Dragon Ball Z was being made at the same time that Akira Toriyama was writing those stories.
Yeah.
So he was like, all right, so here's this character Vegeta. He gave them the black and white image of Vegeta. And they're like, okay, well, we don't know the color, so we'll make up our own bullshit. But then after that episode came out, that's when he was like, no, he's not supposed to look like that. Which is funny because the SH Figure Arts ended up coming out with that with a variant of that color Vegeta.
And Fade has joined the fray.
Hey.
What's up?
By the way, the form you guys were thinking of was Super Saiyan God SS Evolved.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Oh, God.
Which, yeah, many of the fandom kind of agreed, like, Royal Blue should have been the name of it or something like that.
I would have gone with... I would have taken the opportunity to do that as... This is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 2. Would have made sense.
It would have.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah, so, yeah, basically this company, they originally started out making alternate heads and, like, alternate accessories for these official action figures.
Well, I like the different faces.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. The SH Figure Arts, the figures, their Dragon Ball figures, most of them will have alternate faces.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one great thing about it, about their stuff. Like, I just recently got Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And
nice.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he has his smirk, like his smirking face or gritting teeth, or, you know, his scream and whatnot. I can't wait for Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta to come out. But one thing that caught me off guard, so you know how Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he has the locks of hair coming over his shoulders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So with this figure, those are actually on articulated ball joints up in the head. So you can shift them about to wherever you need them to be, depending on the pose.
By the way, didn't they release New York Comic Con Super Saiyan Broly just recently?
I have no idea.
I don't know about any Comic-Con exclusive version of it.
Let me double check that real quick.
But I do, from the new Broly movie, I have Goku with his Super Saiyan Blue state. I have Gogeta Super Saiyan Blue. And I have both versions of Broly where he's in his calm state, but he comes with alternate heads to where he's in his Berserker and then his Super Saiyan form. And then there's a separate figure where he's in his quote-unquote legendary Super Saiyan form.
Ooh.
How many power-ups are we going to have? Well, I'll tell you, Fizz, unfortunately, we're reaching the moment where as the series keeps going along, they're going to keep coming up with new shit.
Yep.
And I think they should stop at Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego and just kind of refine it maybe, or like they have to train to get stronger in those forms.
Actually, I want to throw a shot in the dark. How much you guys want to bet we're finally going to see like the Super Saiyan 3 hair on both Goku and Vegeta on this Frieza arc?
Oh god. I would not put it past them, because they already gave Granola the Super Saiyan 3 hair, which the Granola arc was not my favorite thing.
Ooh, that's a cool variant.
Is that Majin Vegeta?
Majin, yeah, Majin Vegeta Super Saiyan 3.
Oh, here's another one Demoniacal Fit made.
Well, Fizz, actually, in the latest movie, Piccolo got a transformation.
Yep.
But they didn't give it a cool name. They just called him Orange Piccolo. And it was kind of disappointing.
What about Beast Gohan? Shouldn't they have given that to Piccolo too? Like Beast Piccolo or something?
Yeah, they could have done something like that. Or like, Ascended Namek or
because
Super
essentially,
Namek.
like I said, I believe both those forms are linked because they both had their hidden potential unlocked, didn't they?
Yeah.
So,
I know, like, Piccolo got his from a wish with the Dragon Balls,
right.
and Gohan just kind of dug deep and had an
From-
emotional moment.
What's his name? I'm drawing a blank for right now. From Namek, the old elder.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna bother me.
Guru.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
I like the fact that they gave Broly the Saiyan armor for this version.
Mm-hmm.
But like my thought was, whenever I played Xenoverse, I made my character like I was imagining what Yamoshi, the original Super Saiyan, would look like.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
Always pictured Yamoshi having that classic Broly outfit with like the jeweled headband and the weird kind of Arab-looking pants and stuff.
So you mean like DBZ Broly?
Yes. I figure like that outfit would be great for like Yamoshi.
Hey, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the website right now. I just found it, but unfortunately pre-orders for it are closed.
Oh, I don't. I did enjoy Broly's cameo in the movie. I just like how they kind of, he's now kind of a nice guy, and like when he was about to go berserk again and go, because just, hey, whoa, 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 let's
Let's just
down.
take a moment and chill. Alright. Here, I'll put the link in private.
But yeah, I am worried about the new arc coming up. Because, I mean, at this point, Frieza's probably getting close to either rivaling or surpassing the gods.
Yep.
Unless they pull something out of their butts, which they probably will.
Like I said, I think the Super Saiyan 3 hairstyle's coming back.
I would not be shocked. I mean, they already did the thing where with Ultra Ego Vegeta, his eyebrows disappear, just like with
yeah,
Super
just
Saiyan
like Super
3.
Saiyan 3, yep. Actually, what would be really cool is if we had like a better homage to like Super Saiyan 4. I kind of feel like that would
agree.
Be a little overkill too, especially right now.
Yeah. I feel like if they did Super Saiyan 4 in some kind of way, it would make much more sense.
Okay, I believe I sent you the link to the figure.
Alrighty. Alright.
Let me close this.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's got the effect background on it and everything.
Oh my god.
Actually, they just... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I would be very happy if they actually came out with a really good Dragon Ball video game. Most of them...
I mean, Kakarot's good, but I want, like, the old Tenkaichi kind of Dragon Ball, you know?
I agree.
Because I miss those games a lot more.
Yeah, and like or at the very least, like do something where it's not like we're not just going through the arcs of Z all over again. I would be impressed if they actually did something like made a game about the original Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, Ultimate Tenkaichi 3, if I remember right, covered just about everything, like all the movies, all the Dragon Ball, except for the Dragon Ball movies, but it covered practically everything, right?
If they could introduce Janemba, I think I'd be happy with that.
Just a different looking Janemba.
Well, like, I like the concept of the character, like, even though it doesn't make sense canon-wise, considering, like, you know, when Frieza went to hell, he didn't have all the darkness purged from his heart or anything like that.
Mm.
But yeah, I liked the idea of like an ogre from the check-in station being infected with a bunch of dark energy and turning into this fucking monster.
Yeah.
And I want them, and I mentioned it in my video before that, like, I want Oob.
Yes, I do agree with you on that. Oob needs to be in Dragon Ball.
It's time, and
Mm-hmm.
they've already introduced in the manga that Oob now has god power within him. He has god
Right.
chi. So he could be the ultimate earth warrior, like an
Right.
earthling that has the power of a god, like fucking A.
Yeah, also on this website, they got like a bunch of different stuff too.
Yeah, I don't really fuck with action figures these days, but you know. I did when I was younger. I kind of got past that part, but I would love a good Dragon Ball video game.
I've been kind of making a comeback on figures as of late, so just gotta be careful on my spending though.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have much spending money at the moment. I'm still looking for another day job, and I've been having trouble because my transportation right now is very limited.
Oof.
So I gotta get a job within a certain radius near my house, and it's the options are very limited. And in a month, we're gonna be launching Outlaw Nights issue 2.
Right.
And like, if I had had some extra money, we would have been making more of the book. But unfortunately, we've only done about 4 pages so far.
Oof.
But I mean, the book's only going to be about 25
Mhm.
because it's the only feasible way to produce it.
Let's make sure no one in the comments are being withheld. Okay.
Oh, there's new comments?
Oh no. When I came on here earlier, some comments were being held, so I went ahead and let them out since they were nothing really bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently it was blocking Tank for some odd reason.
That's weird.
Yeah, because like it was blocking like the "Hail all you magnificent bastards" and then smashed the like button and hit the bell to receive all notifications, which was weird. I
That
can
is
understand.
weird.
I can understand the first part, but not the second one.
What is going on, YouTube?
Eh, YouTube being YouTube.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna think I was ignoring them.
Well, if Tank
Oh,
comes
wait.
back.
So does that just come with what makes that special is that it just comes with the aura behind them?
Yeah, the aura, and I think Yeah, just the aura, I think. Because I don't think this one was released quite. Was it released?
Yeah, I have that one, but it didn't have the aura.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that comes with Broly's normal head, then his Berserker mode, and then his Super Saiyan state.
Gotcha.
And then they have a separate figure for his gigantic state.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which, actually, give me one moment.
This is our chance, my son. Attack!
Okay, I loved when Frieza did that whole, oh my god, look what they did!
Oh, yeah. Like
It
that
was-
whole.
It was such a fucked up joke, but it was good.
It's like getting himself like mentally prepared for it too, like.
It's such a tragedy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's everything
Dang.
I
You even have is that a Broly or a Caulifla Funko Pop?
that is Kale.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck.
the female Broly, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yes, she
But-
definitely was.
So with these SH Figure Arts figures, they some of them will actually come with like little energy accessories or whatnot, like what you see with the Ultra Instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for a second, I was looking at your shelf and I'm like, do you have VHSs on there?
No. That's just my Alien Quadrilogy,
Oh, nice.
that old DVD set. But yeah, there's the Broly and his Berserker, then his gigantic mode, you know, Shenron. But yeah, that Vegeta, he that's that special head made by that one company that's on there right now.
Oh, okay.
And then all the way in the very back corner is Kaioken Goku.
Oh, yep.
Your Broly that Broly figure of him in like his normal state from the movie, it almost looks like he's Super Saiyan Blue.
Oh, you're talking about that little statue, right?
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh, that one's
that-
the original DBZ Broly.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the original DBZ Broly. Remember when he had the collar on, his
Yep.
hair, when he went Super Saiyan, his hair was blue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that's based off of.
Actually, did they ever explain that? I think it was like the difference in planets or some stupid thing. I can't remember if they ever explored that option.
They kind of explained it that it was because of the crown that he was wearing.
Oh, okay.
Because if you notice when he go in this Broly the Second Coming, when he's on
Right.
Earth,
He was blonde.
yeah,
Oh god. Yeah, the sequel Broly movies.
the
The
second one
Bio
was,
Broly was the most horrible one, though.
yeah, that was bad.
God. But yeah, I wish that like if they're gonna bring Super back as an anime or something, I beg them, please bring back whoever did the Boo saga. If they're still alive. There's always that possibility that they're dead.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
but
Or hell, bring back the people who did GT. That was great animation.
Well, animation, yes, but story-wise, hit and miss.
Well, yeah, I mean-
and-
But like the animation for GT was great, even though
Yes.
I was always curious as to why Goku had a tan.
yeah, that was the weird one too. It's like, okay, how does skin get darker?
Oh,
Goku's
I
been
think
getting a
that's
lot of
where-
sun.
I think that's where all the bad design choices started. All right, so if you know how much I bitched about Toyotaro's work, right? So you know, originally he was just he made a fan manga of Dragon Ball AF, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
So what is Dragon Ball AF? It's supposed to be like a sequel to GT, right?
Right.
Yep.
So what did he base his aesthetics on?
Um.
So that's why, if you actually go back and watch GT, when Gohan and Goten, and everybody, if they're just in their relaxed civilian clothing, they got string bean arms.
Yep.
So that's where Toyotaro. Okay, all the pieces are coming together.
So bring back the guy who did the Boo Saga.
They did.
When?
That was during the. Remember when the animation got really fucking good? The
Yes.
final
Shadow
arc of
Dragon?
Super?
Oh, he's talking about like when all of a sudden during the Universal Tournament arc,
Oh, gotcha.
that all of a sudden the animation went up a tick.
More
Right.
than a tick, it was like the best animation they've had in fucking
Yeah.
years. Even better than what Dragon Ball Z had. And
Oh yeah,
that was him. That was him.
the Ultra Instinct transformation sequence was probably like one of my favorites, and then I think my favorite sequence from Super was Goku and Frieza tag teaming Jiren.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was pretty cool.
Yes, that was.
But
It was like a poetic full circle.
But it was also the same. It was also the same thing with what was that? With the Broly movie, the Dragon Ball Super Broly. That was the same animator.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Even though he had slightly different styles where everything was all super smooth, but again, they were given like a much bigger budget.
Mm-hmm.
But we won't talk about the little CG scenes that they had in between there. I hate.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hated
the
that
only
about that
thing
movie.
I disliked about that movie is when Broly transforms to full power and Gogeta transforms into blue. That's the only thing I don't like, is that they didn't have like a transformation sequence for it.
Yeah, that bugged me a little bit. But other than that, the movie was great. Just the characterizations.
Mhm.
It'd be nice if we actually got some proper power scaling back.
Yeah.
That's never gonna fucking happen.
I kind of miss that. Like, I mean, now like Super Saiyan Blue can fight a Super Saiyan on par. And
At least we know where the cap is, because Master UI is supposed to be like the cap on power levels, so to speak.
sort of like the manga, the way they're trying to stretch it for the manga is Whis tells Goku that his Ultra Instinct he hasn't taken it to its full potential.
Right.
Like, he's still got more he can learn from it. And that Whis' Ultra Instinct is still way above his.
So you remember before Battle of Gods came out when they mentioned Super Saiyan God, but they never revealed what it looked like. Remember all the speculation images that were coming out, like he was supposed to look like a golden Super Saiyan 4?
See, I found out about Battle of Gods way late. I found out about it after it came out, because I had been focusing on a bunch of other stuff, and then one day I just randomly was like, I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z in a while. I want to rewatch that. And then as I was looking up online for is there anything I missed? And then all of a sudden I see Battle of Gods, and I'm like, what is this? And I had played one of the newer games, and Beerus showed up in it, and I was like, who the fuck is this? What am I looking at?
All right, so yeah, there was a speculation of what Super Saiyan God was going to look like, and people were coming out with their own fan theory images and whatnot, and it was basically like a golden Super Saiyan 4. which I thought was really cool. And I was like, oh, maybe they're going to go that route. Then they went the route they did. And I was like, oh, I'm disappointed now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, basically Kaioken kind of route.
I did enjoy when they brought back Kaioken temporarily.
Because I believe King Kai kind of touched on that. Wasn't Kaioken like a weaker form of Super Saiyan God? Or God Ki or something like that?
I thought it was that Kaioken. Well, it was that. I think Goku mentioned something like he was able to use Kaioken as Super Saiyan Blue because instead of it being like an emotionally charged form, it was the opposite. It was more like a calm kind of form.
No, I think that was UI.
Oh, I know UI is all calm, like, don't
Right.
think at all.
Because, like, his new UI signed, it's basically calm with emotion kind of thing.
So basically, you're showing me how much better fan theories can be.
Well, with that, so originally,
What is up, Genuine?
Hello.
Good old Dave with his perfect 10 and his American Bliss.
My screen name, King Leek, that's actually from fan fiction I wrote.
Of Dragon Ball?
Yeah. And basically, it was called Dragon Ball AF, Alternate Future, or not AF, AW, Alternate Worlds, where it was like an alternate timeline where things carried on. Where I took some things from Dragon Ball GT, the things that worked with GT, and so on and so forth, and like, and I had one character, and when his arc ended, I started off with another character who was his grandson, and his name was Leek, and he had a twin sister named Nasu. And basically, he ends up and the whole reason why I ended up writing these stories is because when Super Saiyan God came out and they finally revealed what Super Saiyan God looked like, I was highly fucking disappointed. So I was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna create my own thing, and so went on, and let me see, how do I share this one? Give me one moment.
And I think the worst part about Super Saiyan God for me, other than the look, was just the cheapo, well, you just need 5 nice Saiyans to put their hands on somebody and think nice thoughts about him. Oh, fuck.
Oh, nice.
So basically, this is towards the end of King Leek's story arc after he became king and whatnot, and he unlocked Super Saiyan 4. In one of the earlier arcs that dealt with this character, and basically what it was with this, how I had it written in this universe is that his grandfather was the descendant of Goku and Broly, and then this character, because of how the bloodlines were going, he was not only the descendant of Broly and Goku, he was also a descendant of Vegeta. Where in this, I kind of took the concept of the whole Super Saiyan God. Well, what if the original legendary Super Saiyan, or the first Super Saiyan God that Beerus spoke about or the original concept of Super Saiyan God, where he was the legendary Super Saiyan, he had 3 wives, so that's where the bloodline split. That's where they were able to split off, and then you had Goku's bloodline, Vegeta's bloodline, and Broly's bloodline. So, had it to where the original Super Saiyan, he was supposed to be like the great hero of the Saiyans of the past, and he unlocked the ability to become Super Saiyan God, but in order to save his people, again, it destroyed his body. He was only able to obtain it in that grade 8 form. So with this, and how he was able to unlock the God form was during this war between the two factions of Saiyans. All the lives are lost with on his side. All the vengeful spirits, or the power of 1,000 Saiyans, unlocked the God potential. So he was, in that universe, the Super Saiyan God of Vengeance. And that's later on. That's what ends up happening with the Leak character, which that's a whole another bag of worms on how he unlocks it. But in this form, I wanted to do something where basically he takes the Uzuru attitude and all, so his fighting style becomes completely different. He's more animalistic.
He's a berserker.
Yeah, and he'll even stop and beat his own fucking chest and scream and all that shit. And this is before Dragon Ball FighterZ came out. This was Android 21.
Okay. Before they decided to make it Dr. Giro's wife and...
Yeah, some or other. He was just an android, you know. And so in this storyline where he is King Leak, eventually whatever Saiyans that were left in the universe, they all came back to Earth with another Saiyan character, you know, and they eventually flourished. And when his sister died, when she was Queen Nasu, when he finally defeated her because she turned evil,
yeah,
he ended up becoming king. And because he kept on seeing all the crazy shit that was going on between the humans and the Saiyans, he eventually said, fuck it, you know, created his own nation, you know, a Saiyan nation. You know, it had to deal with the current emperor. Was like, hey, you know, give us this plot of land. I'll keep all these Saiyans here in check. You know, I'll hold them under stricter under stricter rule and all that. But you know, he kind of became a dickhead with it. So, his own people were starting to dislike him because they felt he was showing favoritism towards the humans. So the supercomputer, Giro's supercomputer, kept drones flying around, and like, you know, the little flies, the little robotic flies, right?
Yep.
Notice that the Saiyan population got too high for the computer's liking, like above a certain percentage. So that's when it awoke in Android 21, and he wasn't quite at his full power yet, so he had to go retrieve Android 18's CPU, 16's CPU, and 17's CPU. And 17 was still alive at this point, so it didn't end well for him.
Oh, fuck.
So, and once he got that, that's when he was able to take on the Super Saiyan, you know, Super Saiyan 4s.
Oh, fuck.
Because Leak also has a son who is a Super Saiyan 4 as well, who he trained and helped him unlock that potential.
Well, shit.
But eventually ends up coming down to where... And basically what those CPUs did, all they did was act like a buffer for Android 21's limiter. So in a last-ditch effort to destroy everything, fuck it, there are other humans living in other colonies on other planets. I'm just going to destroy everything here on Earth. So he ejects the CPUs. That starts causing him to overload. He's going to blow everything up. And Leak ends up taking him out into space and absorbing the explosion and supposedly dies. So then, and it ends up ending with his son, and his son having having a wife, and they have 3 kids, and magically these 3 kids look like Broly, Vegeta, and Goku. Has them all sit around, and it ends with, well, all right, well, before I tell you this adventure about your grandfather, I'm going to tell you how it all began. And that's when he goes, there's once a Saiyan who came to Earth, beginning the story of Goku.
Fucking hell.
But then basically I was going to try to tie in some multiverse shit with this. And I started a story for another Saiyan in another universe. Turns out King Leek was alive, but he was now held in this hub world where all the Super Saiyan gods from the different universes had to team up to take on the Super Saiyan Devil.
A Super Saiyan Devil.
And that was actually going to be Turles.
Oh, Lord.
So, yeah, I even included all the movie shit. So...
Good Lord. Well... And now we got Super, and now all I really want to know is what Frieza's race is actually called. Because I don't think that they're just called the Frieza race.
Well, unfortunately, that is the name that they still currently have.
But, Genuine, you asked if there were any hot chicks in Dragon Ball. There are a few. I am partial to Chi-Chi when she was young. Unfortunately, she only lasted this way for a few episodes before she became an old maid. And I was quite annoyed by that. I like Videl. Original Videl, she was pretty hot. Who else? Krillin. Let's see, who it... What's her face? Caulifla was kind of good looking, but I just didn't like the design of her outfit. I thought it was kind of cheap. Oh, shit.
Now, believe it or not, I had this drawn up by someone, but I also got... This is originally another person's design, so I got their permission. Hey, I want to add this character into my story. I really like the idea of it. And he was like, yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
God damn.
But then I got caught up with Neon Revenant because I ran into writer's block with that other story that I was working on.
Well, I mean, it's probably a good thing to work on an original project that you can actually market.
Yeah. Eventually, I'll go back to that fan fiction stuff to try to finish it up because I don't like leaving stuff not complete. But for now,
I agree with Dave. Android 10 is very, very hot.
Android 10.
I knew. Android 10 is from his book called Perfect 10.
Oh. That's funny.
It's actually about it's literally an android that was created as a super weapon, and it's a super, super, super hot woman. Dave specializes in drawing women that I want to have sex with, but I can't get to because they're not real. And it's not fair. Yeah. I'm trying to look up a picture of it. And I'm being an old man. Okay. Yeah, I remember, in Dragon Ball Xenoverse, you get the chance to be a member of the Frieza race.
Yep.
And they couldn't even bother to give them a name.
I remember the fan theory was going around that they were called the Ice Gins or something like that.
That would have been a great name.
Yeah.
Fucking
And
hell.
but this character here is where it all began with that fan fiction universe.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, nice.
I like the shades.
Mm-hmm. That artist, he's a huge Dragon Ball fan artist. He just loves fucking Dragon Ball. So that's the same character. Yeah, that's the guy that's supposed to be descendant of Goku and Broly. This is him meeting his great-great-grandfather.
Is that supposed to be Bardock?
Yep.
He's got a beard now.
I put a little goatee. It's like, need to add something a little bit different. Just a little bit. This lady who ends up becoming his wife.
I used to think Saiyans couldn't grow facial hair until Super.
I know.
Like, I just didn't think it happened. Like,
And this was supposed to be the first villain that the character went up against, is Queen Ice. But now, I guess there's no fucking females in that race. So, this was before
Yes.
that came to light.
yeah, well, I could have sworn, like, Frieza mentioned he had a mom in one episode of the original anime, which I'm assuming probably wasn't a part of Dragon Ball Z Kai. Because Dragon Ball Z Kai is what's canon.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wish that the Grand Kai was canon.
And that was the
Isn't
character.
Grand-
That
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
no.
character's daughter.
Yeah. I actually thought it was Little Raditz, but you know.
And it's his daughter when she's a little kid, and then when she's grown up. And then mom and daughter as Super Saiyan 3s.
Yeah. So basically the way Kale and Caulifla should have looked.
Yes. And I had someone else do some art because in the story, Bra, she ended up having her own son. She just named him Vegeta Jr. And
I mean, we've seen Vegeta Jr.
yeah, but this one has green hair and doesn't like being told that he's short.
Well, remember, Vegeta grew in the series for some reason.
Yeah. Some reason.
For aesthetic purposes, he grew.
Well,
You know, it could be like the whole Bulma wishes herself younger thing.
I actually really enjoyed that whole aspect of how the reason Bulma still looks young is because she keeps wishing for cosmetic surgery. This is Dave's creation. This is the android known as 10.
Nice.
And
Very nice.
she is going to be the mother of my children.
Okay.
It's gonna happen. Dave just needs to create her.
Well, I wish you luck with that, Ben.
If Krillin can have sex with Android 18, anything is possible.
I mean, yeah. but-
Well, we have been going for almost 2.5 hours.
well, you guys have been going for 2.5 hours. I only got here half an hour ago, so.
But it is about that time. Because I'm starting to get sleepy, and I'm going to start getting even more nonsensical than I already am.
Sounds about right.
So, Leek, where can we find you?
All right, you can find me at Twitter, KingLeak86. You can also, on Fridays, I'm normally on Regen with Red Valkyrie, so you hop in there anytime you want. Show them some love. You'll also find me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then whatever the fuck it is on the West Coast. You'll find me on my own channel, King Lake of Rock Hard Comics, and I have a show called What's in the Bag, which is hosted with Tank Ferret, who is also who will be doing doing my pages for the Neon Revenant. And if you want to jump onto Indiegogo, look up the Neon Revenant and go ahead and sign up for the pre-launch. Get on that mailing list, and I plan to launch that midnight July 4th.
Hell yeah. Midnight on July 4th. I gotta remember that.
Of next year, right?
Of 2023.
Okay.
No, of this year. It launched.
I'm just making
it launched a few months ago.
Right?
Get back in your fucking box!
And Fade, where can we find you?
Well, you guys can find me on YouTube, Fade Salvation. I'm currently doing Let's Play on Persona 5 Strikers, as well as doing some bigger news, just anything that kind of catches my interest. And yeah, you guys can also find me at Fade Salvation on Twitter, Facebook, just about pretty much any kind of social media site now.
Hell yeah. And I am, of course, your host, Ben, aka The Fuse Box. You can find me on Twitter at Knights Outlaw. You can also find me on Instagram at Outlaw Knights. And you can now find me on Facebook under my real name, Ben Fuselier, Fuselier. And you can always find me here. I do Fusebox Engaged. I hold my streams every Thursday at 10 p.m. Central, and now I'm trying to get this going twice a week. I decided to try out midnight on Saturday. Let me know if you think that's a good time or not. I can always switch around. But I think we had some fun tonight. And yeah, don't forget, in 1 month, we are going to be launching issue 2 of Outlaw Knights. We are up to 121 signups on the email list. Looking awesome. But let's keep that shit going. Click on the link in the description of this video if you haven't signed up already. You're going to want to, because you're going to get access to exclusive perks that you'll only be able to find on the email list, including a 2 for the price of 1 deal, which will be very limited, so you're going to want to get on that quick. And yeah, don't forget, give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit that damn bell for notifications. If you don't like anything we had to say, hit the dislike button, for God's sake. Like, you know why? I don't get to see it, and it helps people look at the page because it actually adds to our engagement. So you'll be inadvertently making me more popular. And yeah, to close out, I'm gonna play the trailer for the original Outlaw Knights, which I think kind of also works for the sequel. I want to get a new trailer, but right now I'm not able to get one, so yeah, here we are. If it will play. And it's not playing.
Play, goddammit. Fucking play already, goddammit!
And it's
Leak, take it easy.
It's embarrassing me.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have to hide in my box again.
We are live on the air,
Who the
and
fuck said
it's
you can leave your
fucking up.
goddamn box?
I did that too.
There we go. Yes, indeed.
Very nice.
Nice.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and we will talk to you all later.
Later.